Kindergarten is a huge milestone for kids and parents. And I think a lot of us think about what should we do to get our kids ready for kindergarten. So I am here with an expert, a kindergarten teacher, Molly Ortner, and she is going to answer some of these questions for us.
I will try.
So what is the most important thing parents can do to prepare their children for the kindergarten experience?
I think one thing to really remember about kindergarten and just about school in general is we're really thinking about the whole child. And so when you think about getting your child ready, it's not just letters and numbers. It's also how are they doing with being alone without you? When you go on a date night, do they still cry with the babysitter? At preschool, do they still cling to your leg when you leave? Also things in terms of self-help skills. Can they get their jacket on? Can they get their shoes on? Which shoes I know are always tricky, but can they get their shoes on? Can they do snow pants? Things like that, that if you multiplied it by 21, would it be challenging for the teacher to kind of manage that and the other children?
What do I do if I do have a child who is crying and clinging to me? My children never did that. What does that say about me? I don't know. But so what do I do if I have that happening?
If you have that happening, one thing to really consider is your child's birthday. If they are a August birthday and they're doing that, that might be a sign to you that they're just too young for kindergarten, and that's okay. That's okay. One thing that really can happen is you can start with friends in the neighborhood or friends from preschool. If they're going to kindergarten, you might feel like you need to do that because those are your child's friends.
Right.
One of the wonderful things about kindergartners is they make friends fast. And so if that's your concern, that shouldn't be a concern. That will always kind of work itself out. If they are doing that though and they are an older birthday, giving them as many opportunities to be away from you is great. Doing things like date night, preschool, different types of camps and classes, just giving them more opportunities for you to go away and then to see that you are coming back.
Yes.
Because some parents might go the opposite route of being like, well, they can't handle this, so I can't possibly put them through this, but it's something they need to do. You might feel like it could be traumatic, but it really won't be because you'll come back every time.
What's the biggest anxiety you see with your students coming in?
I think the biggest thing they worry about is the bathroom and lunch. But other than that, I think it's just the time away can be tricky. It can be hard, and it's a long day, and so they can get really tired. But it normally takes them about a week or two to settle in, and then they're feeling really confident.
Yes.
But I think it's just the time and it's the change. Kindergarten is so fun and it's so magical, but it also then is really stressful. And a lot of kids start thinking about kindergarten when they're 3 or 4 years old, and so then when you actually go, it can be a bit overwhelming. So for some kids, it's just the idea. Yes. And then once they're here and settle in and see their name and see that they have a spot and see that what the day is going to feel like, they really can just settle in.
I've been called to the principal's office. I'm going in. I'm just curious, from a principal's perspective, what is the most important thing parents can do to get kiddos ready for kindergarten?
For us, it's all about having a joy of life and a joy of learning and being kind to the people around you. And good things happen when we're kind to each other and when we're good listeners. And when we have empathy, we know what other people feel. We also believe that without play, great learning really doesn't happen. So play in learning, but also play and letting kids have choice.
Okay.
And then they give us their time and energy after we've given them something. So it's very much a reciprocal relationship that we build with kids right from day one.
Do you find that kids have more anxiety coming into school, or is it the parents that have more anxiety about the kids going to school?
Such an easy answer. It's the parents. Kids are kids. They are generally trusting and loving, and if the parent is comfortable, generally the kids are comfortable. Okay. So when children have anxiety, honestly, 9 times out of 10, it's the parent who had the first anxiety.
What are the common things you see happening with parents and their anxieties, and what can you say to help people with that?
I think the biggest thing is quick goodbyes, leave dry eyes. A lot of kids and a lot of parents, it's a big deal to have a kindergartner. It's a big deal to have a child who all of a sudden is old enough to be at school. I've had a lot of parents who might start tearing up on the first day, which then all of a sudden the child will go, oh, we're crying. That's what we're doing. I wasn't going to, but now mom is, so I'm gonna cry. Another thing too is parents can get really worried about, they don't know their name, they don't know their letters, they don't know these things, and most kids, when they're ready, it'll click into place. And a lot of times what we do in kindergarten and what we do as educators and parents is kind of set the table for them. It's like we're setting a huge buffet, but they have to be ready to take it in.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we want to make sure, but we are setting that up and kids learn in their own time.
So what happens over the course of a kindergarten year? I mean, what are we looking at as far as general benchmarks?
I'd say most kids come into kindergarten, they know most of their letters, they know their uppercase letters, lowercase letters are still tricky. Some sounds, they know the letters in their name, they can find their name anywhere. They are able to listen to stories, they're able to engage in the story, they laugh when something's funny. With math and numbers, they're able to count things. They're able to count past about 20, some writing of their numbers and of their names, but a lot of times 5-year-olds, their grip and their pencil grip is kind of funky, and that's okay. We have a unit where we're writing books, and they're kindergarten level books, but they're writing a book and we're laminating the covers and they're doing that, and by the end of the year, they can read to themselves for 15, 20 minutes. They also can do a lot of things independently, like I can ask them to go to the office, and they can do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
It is magical. That's a huge transformation. You bring in basically a preschooler and take out an elementary age or elementary ready child.
When even their physical transformation, they look so different by the end of the year.
I actually said this before the interview that this is my dream job, being a kindergarten teacher. Why did you choose to teach kindergarten?
They're just fun and silly and happy, and it's really fun to see what people do when they just do what they want in a happy, sweet way.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Thank you for talking with us.
You're welcome.